The following program has been rated GE by the Kenya Film Classification Board. It is therefore suitable for general family viewing.
Welcome viewers to another episode of Chungu cha Jamii. I'm your host Eunice Mugo. On the show today we've prepared a topic on why marriages are falling apart. Get to us across all our social media platform, GBS TV Africa, and on our SMS line 21144. With me on the show, I have a guest who is going to help us understand more about this issue. Welcome, guest.
Yes, my name is Pastor Paul Blessing. I am a motivational speaker, inspirational, and I'm here for that purpose that we are going to dissect and see why marriages are failing. That's why I'm here today.
Thank you, Pastor. You're so welcome in our show.
Thank you.
We're asking, why are marriages falling apart?
Okay, now let's start with what is marriage. Okay, marriage is when two people come together with a plan to start a family. And of course, men and female, that's a platform that we are in. So expectations are high. And sometimes people are not getting enough time to date, or they are dating wrong. There is a period of dating that will cause you to know someone. And there's times that you feel you are too late to be together. You feel like, let's just go on right away, and which is wrong. So that period of dating is very key. And also maturity. Sometimes people get married when they are very young, and they just feel like, yeah, nishafanya kazi, ninafanya kazi mwanza shule. But your maturity is still low. It's good if you can start family early. You still have a family early, and your children will enjoy young parents. But also you need to be mature. People are just getting into it, feel they love each other. They call it moving in. And you know, the other issue is that sometimes there was time when people were being taught what to expect in marriage. You sit down with your elders, your aunties, and whoever that is to teach you how to handle this man, how to handle this woman, and what to expect. But nowadays there's a lot of things that are just rushed, and people feel they know everything. But knowledge is very important in marriage. That is why men are told you need to have knowledge to handle a woman. Yeah, and you need humility as a woman to be able to live with a man. Yes.
But with our generation, humility and also submission is kind of challenging when it comes to the independent woman, more so, and also the submissiveness, because in the Bible we are told, woman, submit to your husband.
Yeah.
And again, you'll find that kuna that sense of belittling the man that you're with. You said we need to be mature, and also the dating period. How do you know you're ready for marriage?
First thing, however long you may date, however long you may be ready, if you are not submissive, you will cause this man not to be confident. And the strength of a man is in his confidence. If you want that man to become what he is and bring out what he should be, he needs respect from his wife. More than anywhere else. Even if you are a very senior person and you are people surrounding you and they honor you, all of them, but the wife dishonors you, you are useless. Because a man usually draws a lot of his strength from a woman, from his wife. A very good example, let me show you. Let's say a very senior person. He has bodyguards around and you can't reach him. He gets home and the bodyguards draws out and leaves them in the hands of that woman. He may get in that house and the way that woman talks, bring him down. And it's like withdraws all the honor that he got the whole day. But if this man gets strength and honor from his wife, even whatever he is, he'll bring out. So most of the men, the boy child is very much ignored. Even the issue of marriage, they look at what has the woman been done. But the man is really suffering because they suffer quietly. When a woman receives a slap from the wife, he can't even share it. It is a dishonor even to the community.
Yeah, sure.
So mostly are suffering quietly and they can't share it. So depression will come. he can't perform in all areas of his life, then he becomes like a garbage. This garbage, of course, the woman will dishonor you. The other thing I usually tell people, when you're a man, don't bow down too much. Remember, you are the head. Remain your position as the head. Don't bow. Anytime, I'm also a woman. Anytime you allow a woman to see your weakness, I tell you, never raise your head again. So maintain your position, and she will submit. Okay, the issue of independent woman. If you feel you are too independent, then why go for it? Because it's about you must submit. The Bible says a woman is the neck and the man is the head. Yeah. So you take your position as you cannot become the head. Yeah. And when anytime you try taking it up, you are bringing the man down, and that there will not be haitaweza kuingiana. So you get in losing it. Then you find communication goes down. When communication is gone, if communication and intimacy goes, insecurity comes in, distrust comes in, and all that. And that's the opening door or breaking of the walls of marriage. But if communication is firm, and the woman should submit and the man should love, two things. If these two go together, it doesn't matter what kind of it is, it will work. Yes.
And when do you tell that a man loves you? What are the kind of things that a man should show? For me, I'll say I'm counting, in most cases, you don't see yourself as the one who is wrong in this case. You tend to say, I'm doing my part, I'm submissive, I'm doing it right, but he doesn't love me, he doesn't show. So how do you tell that this man loves you?
You know, men don't love by talking a lot, they show. But some women, you can't even love them. There's something we call constructive and destructive criticism. Because when you become bitter, you see you are not being shown enough love. The way you present what you say can cause that man not to love you anymore. But if you honor him and they respect him, he will show by action. He will do things. And of course, it's not bad to say I love you, but there is action more in men. But women demand love, they exceed. And when he's demanding, sometimes you lack boundaries. Yeah. You see people that, like, you go and find your husband in a meeting somewhere, maybe in an hotel. Maybe it could be a business meeting. Business people are men and women.
Yeah, sure.
Then you storm and start making noise. You look stupid because you don't know why people are seated there.
Yeah,
maybe it is for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was meant to be done something better for you. Mm-hmm. But you just see your man being taken away. Mm-hmm. So that being overprotective, mm-hmm. space is very important. Space. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
let me take myself as an example now here mm-hmm. for our audience.
Yeah.
Now, before I get married, you say we should we could have people to talk to us, to direct us, to understand more about marriage before you commit. And nowadays, where do we get this counsel from? Do men get the counsel? Do us women where do we go? Where should we run to get this kind of counsels?
The first place is the church. Mm-hmm. So it depends on who you are and where you go. Mm-hmm. The people who don't have churches, mm-hmm. they don't go to church. Mm-hmm. There should, I think, in our society, mm-hmm. there should be somewhere people can run to, mm-hmm. because it's not about going for counseling. Mm-hmm. But usually you find your spiritual nourishment is the place to get the knowledge and teaching. That's why nowadays there is a class. Mm-hmm. Before you get married, mm-hmm. you are taken through class mm-hmm. to understand mm-hmm. what are you getting into. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're not just going to live together. Mm-hmm. These things you need to understand them, know your position and mm-hmm. what you're supposed to do. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because people just get into like they are emotionally together, mm-hmm. then they go and find it's a lot to do. Mm-hmm. Then the other thing is usually money. Mm-hmm. You find a woman doesn't want to spend her money. Where are you living? Where are you working?
But how we were brought up, with our grandparents, we were shown, or what I've learned at least, with our grandparents, with my parents, the man is the one to provide. So you'll find, okay, with men, there are those with different perspective. Those who say, my woman should not work. And again, maybe, should I relate it with also religion? You'll find that mostly men prefer their women to stay in the house.
It's their culture, and it's okay they do it. Mm-hmm. That's a culture.
That's a culture. And then you'll find that for ladies, there are for this other religion, there are those who will say a man should provide 100%. I'm married to you. I'm your responsibility. When the kids comes in, it's an added responsibility. Right now with our society is where we are coming in saying it's a 50-50 thing. But initially it was the man to do everything.
It was a man to do everything. Women were doing nothing. Now you are doing something. Can't you be even happy that people sit down and eat and you know this is your sweat? And you feed him with your own money. He will honor you more. You're complaining. You want him to buy clothes and buy school fees and pay even shoes for. There's nothing you are doing. Why are you working? It's not even a blessing.
That brings me to this question of right now when you're dating or when you're getting into marriage.
You need to talk about this.
Yes, exactly. And you'll find that we're not open when it comes to, even more so when you're dating and also after you've gotten into the marriage relationship, you'll find that you're not open when it comes to financial issues. When is the right time to be open with these financial issues? For instance, you get maybe I'm working and maybe being paid 50,000 or more.
Yeah.
But I tend to tell my significant other person I'm being paid 10,000, 15,000. You see, I'm saying maybe half or quarter the amount that I'm being paid. And I expect him to maybe to be open. And also him maybe with the insecurity issues maybe from the previous relationship or maybe from the upbringing background.
Yeah.
With, in most cases you find as we have different understanding when it comes to money ideology in relationships. So when is the right time to open up? When is the appropriate time to face it and talk it down and be open without the fear of, if I let you in this much, you may take advantage of me?
Let me ask you. You trust someone with your own life, your own body, but not your money. Seriously.
Seriously? Okay, that's a wake-up call, right? But again, you'll find that with our generation, this thing comes in. If I tell you so much about me, what if you leave me? Right now, we get in a relationship with what if? What if you leave me? What if you die? What if you see someone else and choose to go?
All those things are there ever. Even you can die tomorrow. Yes.
Exactly. So
it's not a stone. Okay, let me start with what you started asking.
Okay.
It's about the finances. Let me ask you. You find someone as money that they hide, they take it to their mother. Then you let your husband struggle to feed your family because this is your family. Your mother has a home. So I'm not saying we should take care of our parents, but you need to be wise. Why should you hide something, give it to her, instead of building your own? Okay, let's say, for example, you have accounts. Let's say you have one account that is meant for all of you, or maybe everybody has their own account. It's good for me, I believe in space. So it's good for you to have a kitty. Let's say even you are a woman of God. In the time that you feel like maybe I want to pray for my husband and I want to lay a sacrifice before God and ask him not to change him or to help him you don't go to tell him. You need to talk to God, you and God. So if you have only one account, will you tell him, give me 1,000, I give an offering for you? You break the news, you see. So it's good to have space, but it's good to have understanding. Maybe this guy is struggling to achieve something for the family. That will take you to the next level. But you don't want to support him because you feel like, why should I support him? But this is your family. This is you now. Your siblings and your mother and your father, those are people away from you. Yeah. So if you build here, you are building self. If you start, let's say, for example, you say you earn 50, you tell him 10. Then one day he realizes it is 50. Distrust strikes and he will never trust you.
Yeah, sure.
You see? So you lose a very big value in your marriage because of nothing. And that 40,000, where did you take it to? Yeah. You use it hiding. So you live a lie. Me, I believe in liberty. Just live good. Be happy. Because these things will not cause you not to be happy. Because you're trying to do something which is not true. Then, as I've said, you trust someone with your life. You bring your life, enter into his house, but you don't trust him.
Okay, let me ask now in a different dimension. Now that was a woman with the issue.
Yeah.
Now I'm a woman. I'm empowered. Like right now with our generation, we
Yeah.
want to empower ladies so much, which is a good thing for getting the boiled child like you mentioned before.
Yes.
But also there are those who are empowered, those who have. Now I'm a woman, I'm a career woman. I've met this man, we are married, or maybe we've been married, we're both career people. On the line, he loses his job. I decide to support the man. And you'll find that there are those men who are so egotistic that they don't want help from me as a woman, simply because of the notion of she will tell others that she's the one who is supporting me. She will tell, that is one. There's also this kind of another man who will, I've lost my job, kind of like heartbroken, lost and everything. Now, instead of choosing to go and look for something extra or think of something more to bring in as the man, he opts not to. He'd rather stay in the house the whole day doing nothing. The much he can do maybe watching TV or sleeping, nothing productive. When I come back at home in the evening, we'll have chaos automatically. So how do you deal with this kind of man?
Let's say a man has lost a job or lost business or whatever he has lost. First, emotionally he's broken. For him to think what to do, he needs to be lifted emotionally. So the way you address him will make him either to arise, think something positive to do, or you'll be depressed to sleep and watch TV.
What if the approach was good, but sees I'm empowered, I'm earning. Maybe the business I'm having, it's bringing so much in the table. And I opt to bring him on board. I'll give you an example of a story I had somewhere. Now, this woman was a career woman, and the man lost the job across somewhere and thought of bringing the husband on board to the business, and also gave the man the access to all the accounts. But now this man went ahead and withdrew 5 million or something to the mother's account without telling the wife, and it's a business account. And now when the woman found out, she was devastated, collapsed, got sick and everything. But the man never bothered with how do you handle
these
it.
Things are about upbringing, I think. Because if someone is ready to help, some people don't see help. They see, and why is she what does she plan to do after this? You try to help, but you see something different because of how they have grown up or the environment they are in. That's why I say during this time of dating, even during the marriage, sitting down and talking, discovering someone more is good. You see now, as we are saying, a third party. This person, you apeleke pesa kwa mother-in-law. It means the mother-in-law is intruding without talking. You need to know, how do you bring people close to your relationship? Because some come to destroy. Their mother-in-laws love their son so much that they see a woman as an intruder. But that is their son, they can't marry him. They cannot be the mother. But they feel it's like you are coming into their territory. So they protect until they destroy. So this man, when he has lost a job, the most important, if you had a good communication during your marriage, even before the job loss of the job, you will sit and talk and look for ways. But now, allowing someone to access all the accounts is also dangerous. You know, as we said, you do it slowly. Don't just wake up in the morning and say, I've all the ATM, go and where you want to go. You'll go and marry another woman and take care of her with your own money.
Exactly, yes, why we are bringing the thing of I'm hiding my accounts.
That's what I'm saying. You just need to have boundaries. Even if let's have one account, even a joint account for taking care of the family, but have your own. And also, okay, I don't say you close, but there should be some privacy when it comes to money somehow, because people are different. Until there's the time that you live together, you understand each other. But when it's issues of money, I don't know what is it. If people can be able to understand each other, it's okay. But for the sake of what has been happening, it's good to be careful. So if you bring him into the business and you find he cannot be able to manage, let him have his own. You can even open another business for you. But sitting in the house and watching TV, it means he's just an idle man who doesn't have thoughts. But he could be depressed. First thing, you show him love. And sometimes you show someone love, they don't see love. So it depends on upbringing. The dimension is too wide. So you need to narrow and study someone. How do I handle this person? How can I help this person? So if you study and know, according to the patterns of this family, they don't believe in women, they don't see the good side of a woman, you play cool. Yeah. So that's why I usually say, when you get married, you're not married to a man. You marry a family. Study the family, know their patterns. Yeah, those things are there.
Okay, viewers, we're going to take a short break. We're going to come back from that point that Pastor Blessing is bringing across. Let's continue sending in our SMSs to 21144 and across all our social media handles at GBS TV Africa. We'll be back shortly.
Everywhere, GBS.
Welcome back, viewers. This is Chungu cha Jamii. Today we are talking about why are marriages falling apart. On the show with me is Pastor Blessing, and she's helping us to understand more about why are we failing in our marriages. Let's continue with this conversation across all our social media handles. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21144. Pastor Blessing, you're saying about when you're marrying, you're not marrying just a man, you're marrying a family. How do you do a research on this family that you're going to get into? You mentioned something to do with mother-in-laws. Both parties have in-laws. Those are mothers, those are fathers, those are sisters. You're going to merge in and to gel in together to be one family. Yeah. How do you draw a line for you as a man, for you as a woman? Where do you draw a line to say, this much, I love you, you're my family, you're my sisters, you're my mom, but you can't come to this extent. This is my man, or this is my woman. This is my family. How do you protect, to draw a boundary so that you don't go to an extent of pushing your family away in the name of protecting our family? And you end up suffering, and then you can't go back to the same family that you're kind of pushing away. Where do you draw the line?
Yeah, there must be balance, but you also need to know that the Bible says a man shall leave his mother and father and join to his wife. So the man leaves, of course. So sometimes you find it's like in our cultures, it's like you marry a woman to go to cook for your mother, which is not now. It's not easy for now. Those times it was so.
Yeah.
So what you need to do is that you need to have boundaries, because if you get married, and usually, I think this issue of being up so much in your wedding and being supported, everything, you find you can't talk. It's good for a man to have his own strength and stand on his own ground. That will protect you, even to protect what you have. You can talk. But if they finance the whole wedding, I build an house for you, you can't talk. That's why it's always good, always for a man to be able to do something. Just leave your level, but have that confidence. The boundaries about people from both sides. Their mother-in-laws have attachment to their children, their son, maybe their daughter. And you may find, if you are not careful, themselves will have their own battle to fight from this side and this side. So you need to speak. Don't just, like, they will understand. It's not like understanding. Put boundaries. Yeah, now I'm getting married. Yeah. So to visit me, this is how to do it. Not just when you wake up in the morning, someone in bags is in the doorstep. There is no boundary there.
Yeah, sure.
You need to have boundaries. And boundaries even how to finance them or do anything for them. If you can, do it collectively. It will cause there to be trust. But if you hide money, there's no money for... I've seen people, school fees of the child is not bought, is not paid, but he sends the mother money. Who is a full year? Your child, because the father should pay school fees. the school fees is not paid, but you're earning money to send to your mother. You see, there's no boundary here. So it is good to have that nuclear family. And the families they are there. But let them know this is a new family. Let us give them space to build themselves. You find people, you come from honeymoon, and they bring a cousin and a brother and another. They fill the house. You have not even bonded. You don't know each other even. You need time to bond. So we need to give them space. Mother-in-laws know where to get into and where not to get into, and don't get into their finances. Advice. This is a new family. It's a new kingdom. You can't come and rule there. You can advise, you can direct, you can help them where they need, but don't come and rule. Yes, that's where the problem is.
Okay. You said something to do with space. With our generation, you'll find that I'm interested in getting married. And I want to commit, but not commit 100%, because personally I believe when I want to commit, then you'll have to be there by me, walk by me in every situation. But you'll find that with our current generation, we say that the space, I want some space, I want my freedom. So we embracing the notion of marriage, but not the notion of living together. Then how do you go about it? Because now we were married, I'm being called Mrs. So-and-so, he's being called husband to so-and-so, but we're not living in the same house. Maybe we meet once a week or twice a week. We want that space. You'll find that if you're living in the same house for a week, we start fighting. So I prefer, let me go back to my own house. Let me go back to my own house.
Sasa hiyo ni kitu ya watu wametengeneza. Where did it come from? Our direction is from the Bible. Where did it come from? When I talk of space, I don't mean that someone goes and lives alone. I mean that it's not like in the morning at 10, where are you? Who are you with? Nipigie picture, video. I want to see. Those things like that, what I'm calling space now. Let someone be independent and know how to make a decision, but have wisdom. And know that you are committed to someone, you have to respect the marriage, and you know what you're supposed to do. But that one of saying that you get married, everybody has their own house, then you meet, that is not marriage. That is something different. It needs a different name. You can't call it marriage.
We can call it long distance relationship.
Something skipped. We talked about understanding a family. That's why during the dating period, you need to seek information. You may get close to the people in the family. Just talk and have stories. It will cause you to understand. Like, let me give you an example. If you could get married to such a family, you find yourself in a disaster. A friend of mine, a pastor, we met on somewhere we went to pray. And he was saying that he was praying for their family because when the mother was married, the father killed his first wife and buried her in the compound and married the mother. So the mother came on the platform of blood and started giving birth to them. So just imagine you get into marriage to such a family. So every time, because that woman had 2 children, that woman gave birth to many children, about 6 sons. Every time the son had married and 2 children, either the wife would die or go or something. But at that period, that family will come to an end because of that death. You see, there's a pattern which is following them. So I'm not saying that you have to investigate everything, but that's an example. Things like that could happen. Good things and bad things. So you, with the wisdom, you could be prayerful. And first ask God to direct you, to understand. With the knowledge to acquire, you acquire. If you to know by the Holy Spirit, you know. If you to go and seek information, you seek. But you should know that you are getting into a family. And what happens in that family will affect you. Doesn't mean you come and join into them. You are a member of that family. You give children to that family. You become totally a part of it. Understand? Yeah. Don't just come in because they are men and they have eyes. You may find yourself in a family of demons.
Yeah, that is so true. That one you have taken in a spiritual perspective.
Yes.
What of this family that they're not spiritual perspective? Yeah. They're so secular and they're so defensive. when it comes to matters of spiritual life. There is also this other one of addiction. When do you, how is it affecting the family? Being addicted maybe in gambling, maybe in sex, maybe in alcohol, maybe in drugs. How is this affecting, and does one change from addiction?
You know, addiction comes because of repeating to do something for long until it becomes like you. How do you come out of addiction of any kind? Because why should you get addicted to sex? How did you get into a marriage? It means that you have been having a bad past life, which brought you into this. So the only way to solve an addiction of any kind, whether gambling, if it's gambling, you spend money the wrong way. So you come home confused, you end into depression, and of course, there's a problem. If there's addiction in sex, it is addiction with the wife or addiction until he goes out. That's another thing.
Let's put it in maybe this perspective. Addiction in per se so active. You find that this partner is not that active sexually, but this other one is so active. Might not go out per se necessarily because of being so much into it, but maybe wants it more and more vigorously than the other person, and this other one is like,
It's
do we
too
have
much.
to go? Yeah, exactly. It's too much.
Yeah. Okay, no. If you let's say, I don't know at what level someone realizes someone is more than what he needs because they are married. Yeah, and if you have been the wife, and you have been the husband. You know each other. You know how you draw your lines. But you'll find maybe one of them has become weak because when they began, why are they finding it vigorous now? We could have seen that the first 3 days.
A lot of responsibilities, they are coming up. I can't keep up the energy.
You should know. Let me tell you. Why did you go to that home? There were people, there could be workers to work. And if there are sisters and siblings even to wash clothes. Your main agenda into marriage is sex. You get there, you get a duty, and you plan for it. And you purpose, and you get that energy. So you say you don't have energy. Where did you go there? You go to where did you go there? So you have to sit down and talk. Maybe why is he becoming vigorous or the woman is becoming more vigorous? You need to know. Sit down and talk. Communication is very key. Because when you communicate, why is it? What's happening? What has happened? Why don't you have the drive? Because one person has lost the drive. What has happened? Like for women, it happens. Family planning, tablets and all that, they cause women to lose interest in sex. But now you should know that it is psychological. Yeah. Look for ways. How will you do to be able to? Because like men, like now you find most of our men and very young people, and this is very wrong. May God help us. They are going even to taking those Viagra drugs at a very early age. So you find by the time he gets married, he's a garbage. He cannot perform in bed. So the woman will say, yeah, you have become a garbage to me. Because so how do you to maintain this strength? The first thing is spiritually you have to be strong and also emotionally be strong, eat well, and of course, and plan for it and focus because that's life. Yes. Where do people come from?
That is so wise.
You have to work it out.
That is so
Talk
wise.
about it, plan it, and ask, what has happened? How can I help you to come back to this? Kama ni hizo dawa, unajua, okay, let's help each other. There's a problem here. So the man will understand. Yes.
Matters to do with drugs and alcohol. You'll find that I'll use not necessarily men, but also women. You'll find that they'll say, I'm so stressed in my relationship that I seek to source refuge in maybe alcohol and maybe drugs. It may be gambling. There are those who say they do gambling for leisure, but end up so being addicted to it that you'll find that the extra money you're getting, you'll just take it into gambling. The extra money you're getting, you're taking it to alcohol, you're taking it to drugs. It ends up being a lifestyle and making a lot of problems in the family.
Everything extreme of everything is poison.
Yeah, sure.
So if it is gambling, you are doing it for pleasure, and you just study yourself. I usually say it's good to have time with yourself. Sit down and discover what is happening to me. How do I spend my day? Where am I going? Do I have values? Do I have goals? Because if you find someone having time for gambling, they don't have values in life. Where do you find time to do that? And spend all your time there? Maybe you're not working, but you should be thinking, because gambling will not give you food, because you will lose. Today you get, tomorrow you lose. But you get addicted and you wake up and go there every day. And then, of course, the woman will get bored with you. Nobody wants such a person. And you know, those things are addictive. There's a spirit behind or a demon behind it. You find you get home and you are like, the mind is still in gambling, and you are here. Drugs, and also alcohol. Alcohol, when you are stressed, will not solve a problem. It is just for that moment. And you wake up and find the problem is still there. So you better seek counseling, or seek a spiritual solution, or find people that you love to talk to. Let me tell you, anytime you are down, get someone that you believe in and talk to them. Anytime you start, nowadays there are a lot of memes around, and I think they have helped people, because someone said in these big hospitals, when someone is depressed, you go there, pay a lot of money, but they just put cartoons to make you laugh, because nobody is making you laugh at home. Yeah, you need to watch a cartoon, people making some.
Do we have even
games.
time to watch TVs in our home?
Then you get in the hospital. You get fatigued. You know, fatigue can also kill.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you collapse. Because you're overworking your mind, you're overworking your muscles, you're overworking everything. Then you end up in collapsing. Sleeping is very important. Someone who is in drugs, they go and they take those drugs. Some they don't even sleep.
On that note, let's take a short break. We'll continue from there. Viewers, thank you for staying tuned. This is Chungu cha Jamii. We are going on a short break. Continue sending in your SMS in 21144 and across all our social media handles. That's GBS TV Africa. We'll be back shortly.
Everywhere. GBS.
Welcome back, viewers. This is Chungu cha Jamii. I'm your host, Eunice Mugo. Just in case you joined us, we are talking about why are marriages falling apart. On the show today, I have Pastor Blessing with us, who is helping us to understand more about why are marriages falling, what are we doing wrong. Continue sending in your SMS to 21144 and also across all our social media handles. That's GBS TV Africa. Pastor Blessing, with these families that you're living in, we're finding that violence is so rampant within the family setup. One is stressed, one is going through issues, and end up taking out on either your wife, your kids, or your husband. Why do we have a lot of violence in our family today?
You know, economically, things have not been easy. And when someone is stressed, then he finds another who is stressed. Then you speak with in a high voice. You stir that person into bitterness. And when these people are stirred into bitterness, there's something that we call response, and the response time and action in the communication. So if someone could be able to hold and listen, maybe there will not be war. But by the time you are asking the first question, you receive 4 answers. Before you think of what to say, you have 6 more. Already you break down. So there's need for people to know how to communicate. Give someone time when you speak to, for them to hear and digest what you have said. As women, we are say that we are able to handle 5 things at the same time, but a man handles 1. So that pressure, when you bring it to him, usually some of them, they end up into violence because they don't know how to handle that. It depends also with upbringing. Now, and it has come to a place where if you don't see a solution, even if you think about killing all of them, because you feel you can't feed them, you can't educate them, you end up in destroying them. But even if you leave them on the street, they will find their life out. Yeah. So violence has come because of problem of communication. That is started by maybe demonic spirits. These are started by family values, and started by patterns of the family. But key thing here is communication. And in every marriage, when intimacy goes down, it's a door for all kinds of battles. But when you find a family that intimacy is strong, you lock it in the bedroom, you clear the kitchen, the sitting room, and everything, and there's no war. But when there's a breakdown in intimacy, it opens door for all those things. There are others also, maybe that's not the only problem. Others is how they handle issues. Not only in talking, even the way you act. Maybe you work in a place where the husband feels jealousy. I was handling a counseling case of a man who lost his job. When they lost the job, the woman was working. And he was so jealous that at 5, it's like, where are you? So she could not attend even meetings that are maybe dinner for the office. And every time it's like, where are you, where are you? And that man lost his power for action. Anytime he came close to the wife, he switched off because he was suspecting. So his mind was affected, and it affected him totally. So by the time we were talking to them, they were doing the man could not do anything. When he comes close to the wife, he switches off. And the problem was distrust. So there, even if you are not fighting physical, you're already fighting. So the woman is saying, me, I can't continue living with you like this. I'm going to leave you. You need to get counseling, to get help, or you say what you want to say. So fighting is in so many ways. There's physical fighting, emotional fighting, and there's also that one in infidelity. Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That is so educative. That brings me to a question of asking, when do you tell now, this man is insecure, this man is obsessive, this man is taking things to an extra mile? When do you draw the line now, you as the lady or you as the man? Where do you draw line to show that I'm straight, I'm open, you're suspecting me for no absolutely reason? There's this saying that goes that if you suspect me of cheating, then most probably you're the one who is cheating. So it is you.
You end up in cheating or being suspected.
Yeah, you might end up cheating because you're being suspected. Or my notion is, you suspecting me, it's because it's you who's doing the wrong thing. So if you're suspecting I'm cheating, you're the one who's cheating. You're suspecting that I'm doing something wrong, it's you who's doing it, but because you fear that I might find out before
you accuse.
Now you accuse me. It's a reverse psychology kind of thing. Where do you draw line? Especially when you know I'm true, I'm genuine, and I'm open for this. I came to this marriage 100%, soak myself into it, but here I'm facing challenges now, like the ones that I've mentioned. How do you draw a line and know, now this one is too much for me, I can't take it anymore, or this one is too much, I think we need to see a counselor to work it out because I'm in for the marriage? Or where do you draw the line and see?
You know, obsession is on both sides. There are women who are, especially women, there are those who are very obsessed. They want in every half an hour to know where he is and who. I know one who has to do a video around where he is and send it to confirm, yeah, you are there. That, what will I call it?
Obsession on the highest level.
That is imprisonment. Let someone think. Let someone be responsible. Know that he has a family, he has someone who loves, need to care and respect themselves. But by controlling them and following them, it will not help you. When it comes to those issues of suspecting, being jealousy is natural for someone you love. And every time you find no jealousy at all, already someone is out of your life. When you find someone doesn't care, someone has taken over. Like for women, a woman, if she starts loving someone else, you will know, because she withdraws. She will not hide it. She will withdraw. If you know how to read the lines, you see it. But a man can keep 5 women, and you can't suspect. Others even have children. A friend of mine said they went to marry and found that man had 5 women. They all had 2 children, The children are born the same time. So when the wife saw the children, you could not tell yours unless the clothes that you bought, they all look alike. And they kept them without knowing. I'm not saying it's good to do that, but a woman, she will withdraw her emotions, and you will read it and know that here, she's not with me. So it's good to give space. That's what I was calling space. It's not about going to live alone in another. Those marriages, I know they are there. They even wed, and everybody goes to their own house.
Yeah.
These things are happening, but they are not godly at all. So what I'm saying is that space is like trust someone. If you have trusted someone with your life, to live with them, offered your body to them, trust them with the rest. But you have to go slowly because of upbringing and culture and religion, as we said. People have different ways to live. So you cannot come even to trust, like give all the ATMs and everything, because you don't know the following day they transfer their money to their family members because they were told everything you get is for a year. But from today, let someone learn to know that you have your own nuclear family. Protect it. Defend your husband. Defend your children. And be there for them. Yes.
That brings me to another question. With this generation, right now we have a lot of single parents, both moms and dads. Those who are single, you have maybe a kid, either your spouse died, either you're separated through some issues that you could no longer stay together. Now you're deciding to get into a new relationship. When is the right time to say or to tell your other significant person that, hey, before you came in, I was maybe married or I was in a relationship, I have 2 or 3 kids. When is the right time to open up to this other person for you to tell? Because there are those who will tell early, or maybe you never say, but eventually you'll have to open up because whoever is living with your kids, you need to do your responsibilities and to show your support. Because if these kids are in school, there's sometimes you're needed as a parent to go visit them. When is the right time to say, so that you don't push this man away simply because of the responsibility, or you don't give out too much information to this man and yet maybe we are not going to commit by the end of the day? When is the right time?
Truth is very important. If you are relating with a man and you have a kid, or you are relating with a woman and you have a kid, please share it. You cannot swallow that child. There could be a decision this child may live with others, and you may bring that child home through discussion. But the issue that you don't know at all, that person discovers, distrust strikes, and they will never trust you. Because if you can hide the level of a living being, what else can you do to that person? And also, when you start relating, there's that time of I love you, you're talking. Before you come to say, when you talk about when you're committing now to the level of commitment, even maybe to get married, because there's period before you say you want to get married, you have to learn each other first. But at whatever level, before you get into the last part, let this person know. Because if they could not have a woman who has a child, don't waste your time, because you are wasting your emotions. If this woman cannot take in a man with a child, you are wasting your emotions. And emotions are very expensive. Because now to let that person go again, you will be hurt. You see? So when you realize that this relationship may end up into living together, let someone know. You better drop them, or they drop you with the truth. But hiding and keeping a child with your sister, and that child, maybe they didn't know you are the mother, they call you auntie, but you know emotionally you are living a lie. And that will destroy you. Even when you go before God to pray, you are lying. You have lied. It holds you and binds you, and you can't grow. So truth is very important. Yeah. Me, I would say it is okay. The first 3 months you can be talking, but it comes to I think we are getting somewhere. Let someone know what you are. What is dating for? Knowing each other. And as I said, we were starting. Never marry someone until you see them the highest peak of anger, so you can be able to control, and the highest peak of laughter. Because you don't know them until you get there. Yeah.
Viewers, we are running out of time, Pastor Blessing. And I'm learning so much. I've learned that we need space in marriages.
Yeah.
We need that privacy. We need to embrace and to know you, like you just said, before I get into a relationship, I should see the peak of, the extreme peak of sadness or emotions of being happy or being sad. I've learned a lot through this conversation, and I hope our viewers have learned the same. Pastor Blessing, could you give us a parting shot before we go?
Okay, what I would like to say is that strength of relationship is communication. If you can communicate and communicate openly, and also learn to give space, and also learn the emotions of the others. Because if you know yours and you don't know how to control others, it will be a problem. Know when to answer and when to ask questions, and also give space. Yeah, let there be space in what you are doing. And it is very simple to live together happily. Make sure if you're in marriage, intimacy is a must. You didn't come there to cook. You came there for a purpose. Be available, plan and do it well, because that's why you are there. So don't take it like you are helping someone. It's like you are disturbing me. It's because that's a key thing in marriage. Last one is about women and dressing. Let us just dress for him. On the wedding day, you had all the makeup, but nowadays, you don't even remember where it is. Please dress for him. Let him see you and be happy. Thank you. Till next time. My name, for those who came late, is Pastor Paul Blessing. And I am the director of Star with Paul. My program is called Star with Paul. I star someone to realize who they are. And I think we have stirred them up into to get serious into marriage. And you can get me on YouTube, Star with Paul, Facebook, Star with Paul. Yeah. And officially, you'll find me in Embassy House. That's where my office is. Thank you. Thank you for having us. God bless you.
God bless you too, Pastor Blessing. Amen. It was such a blessing to have you in the show. You've inspired us. You've taught us a lot. Viewers, I hope you've learned as much as I have. But unfortunately, we've come to the end of our show. See you next in our next episode. Let's continue with this conversation across all our social media handles. That's GBS TV Africa, our SMS line, that's 21144. I'm your host, Eunice Mugo. This was a show, Chungu cha Jamii. See you next time.